laws in Western Australia are different than that of Queensland. It's Queensland a state?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I know what you mean.
It kind of like that. It's like, man, I can't take it here. Someone likes to say, okay, maybe it's too conservative for me. I'll move more to a more lefty state, or it's too liberal for me. I'll move to a more conservative state, or I don't have this rights, that rights, or whatever thing, or the taxes are lower in this state versus that state. Things like that. Everything plays a factor. Mostly when people do move, like they move to another state or where the opportunity is. Like I could tell you, um, I was about to move to the eastern part of my state just because there was more opportunity there, but who knows what things are going to look like, because the world came to a grinding
Yeah.
halt.
Yeah.
We have no idea what's going to come out on the other side. Yeah.
No one does. No one does at all. Are we live, Frank?
Yes, we are.
See it.
Yep. Yes, we are. You are live on Frank's channel. So there's pictures of wiener dogs as we were just sitting here chibber jabbering away, having a good time.
And we're all moving.
Yep.
We're moving.
We're moving to Australia because that's what Americans do.
Just so they can spread the love.
That's right.
Thought about it once. You guys have very strict laws on what's considered a self-defense weapon.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you can't have them.
Knives. Like, I have to prove that my knife is meant for work.
Yes. There must be a reason for... like, say, if you get stopped in your car and they search your car, there must be a reason for everything being in that car. So, in other words, if you have
every single thing.
Every single thing, yeah. So, in other words, if you have a baseball bat and you don't have a ball or a glove, it's a weapon.
Okay. What if I'm saying I'm on my way to hit at the park and I have the bat?
Then you'd have to prove it. Yeah, they can confiscate the bat and take it away. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a chance that you could not get arrested, but you would certainly lose your effects.
Possibly, yeah. I will tell you this: the chances of you being handcuffed are very slim.
Okay.
So even if you've done something wrong. Sorry, I'll just finish this. Even if you've done something wrong, right, and they put you in the back of a police car, chances of you being handcuffed are pretty slim, unless you're aggressive. If you're aggressive, they will handcuff you, but if you're not, you will just be put in the car. Also, there's no sobriety testing, right? You blow, right? So there's no walking the line. There's no standing on one foot. There's no nothing like that. You blow, right? If you refuse to blow, you're instantly arrested, and even then, you're not handcuffed. So it's only if you're a threat that you're handcuffed. But if you're not a threat, they don't handcuff you.
What are the chances of being put in the back of the car?
Yeah.
And then the cars start to drive off, and someone bails. Like gets out of the car.
Very unlikely, yeah. If they put you in the back of the car, normally you will have a police officer sitting next to you. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, but you being able to get out of the car is unlikely. It's the same as the American cars. You can't open the door from the inside. You know what I mean?
Right. Kind of like child lock doors on the back. Yeah.
The child locks. Okay.
Yeah. But all you have to do is like an example would be if you go onto YouTube and if you type in Australian RBT, right, which is random breath testing, right? If you look at that, it's a program about people getting pulled over for drunk driving, stuff like that, and you can watch that, and it's very rare that you'll get handcuffed. And I can honestly say that I have taken a ride in a police car several times. I've never been handcuffed, um, for various reasons. But
I
but
don't
I've
think
never
Lizzie
been
believes
handcuffed.
you. I think she's saying bullshit. That
No,
the
I've
dogs in
never been
Australia
handcuffed.
said that they were gonna cuff you, but you gave them a milk bone, so they didn't. That's bribery.
But I, I will say, judging by what my personal experience and also watching Australian shows and watching American shows, um, Australian police are much more polite, and they will give you a certain amount of leeway. As soon as you step over that line, then they'll come down on you hard.
Right.
But apart from that, they will give you a fair amount of leeway. All right, so you can swear, you can carry on, but as long as you're not aggressive about it, you're fine. So yes,
Now,
you go in the back of the car with no cuffs.
what's the likelihood of you being charged? Like you get brought. Like I don't know how the legal system works there. Like um,
Well, the
you get
likelihood,
get the ride from the police car. You get charged at the station,
no,
or you just
it's a charge on the spot. So the likelihood, if you're in the back of a police car, the likelihood is you are going to get charged.
okay.
Right? Then you defend that charge, or you say yes, I'm guilty, blah blah blah. But if
And
you're in the
yeah,
back of a police car, you are going to get charged.
okay.
Well, hello, Heather Bell. just
Heather.
just got Brian the Observer here, along with Mr. Peabody and myself, just kind of BSing about while you get to see pictures of the clan. That's pretty much all we're doing.
So what channel are we on again?
Frank's.
And the Clan.
Yep. We're on Frank's.
Well, no, name the channel. Frank.
Ampersand DA Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan.
That's right. Frank and the Weenhawk. Yeah, Frank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan. We are on Frank's channel. And we hijack Digital Pollution's Discord. Because we were too lazy to switch and go over to Frank's Cantina. So that's why we're not going to show the Discord. We're just going to show pictures of the clan because, Jez is sleeping and I stole his Discord.
Okay. I'm going to turn it on, but I'm going to kill the sound, obviously. And we got puppy pictures.
Yep, just
Is
some.
that Mr. Peabody under the chair?
Probably.
We've got people watching. How did that work?
Because Frank has more subs than I do.
As soon as you say Frank, everybody goes, Frank's on!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep, Frank's on. He's kicking my butt when it comes to subs, but who doesn't love a wiener dog? That's just kind of what happens. I'm amazed that the notifications even went out, so that was great, because I just was like, well, we're not really doing nothing. We were all just hanging out, BSing, talking, and since you guys said it was all right to go live, I figured let's give Frank some airtime. He hasn't really done anything yet, and
There's Frank on the stairs, and he's just a dominating presence.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I did share the stream in a couple different places.
All good, brother. Much appreciated. Like I said, there was quite a few people out doing stuff. Like Jesse was playing a game, Fedorable's playing a game, Lethal, I think, was playing a game or reading a book or something. Actually, I think he was doing a Star Wars EU club thing. So I was like, well, we're not really doing nothing but sitting here all talking together. So Yeah, why not? We'll just throw us being goofy and talking with some dogs looking at us like, man, you guys are just retarded. Because that's what I get looked at all the time. They're like, really? Really human? I just don't think so. Now rub my belly, feed me. All right, get the hat off my head. I can't stand it, but quit making me take these pictures. But, it is what it is. Yeah, everyone is bored. That is true.
Where is memes of destruction where he's showing all that toilet paper?
Don't you know all the toilet paper has been sent to Australia, and the whole country, because we're sinking, we put it underneath the country to keep it afloat.
Yeah, I mean
Of
the
course,
whole
the whole toilet paper thing is stupid. It's like people buying ridiculous amounts of toilet paper. Why? What do they think is going to happen? If you run out of toilet paper, take a shit and wash your ass.
it's a
What's the big deal?
It's a Chinese virus, not a Mexican one.
I think it was just them freaking out. They heard the word flu. They missed the first half. And I mean, think about it. I mean, no, I don't think anybody's really covered this. Think about it. What happens generally at the flu? Sometimes it comes out both ends at the same time. So they're like, hey, we're going to need a lot of it. And if it passes that much, we're going to keep getting it, kind of like head lice, for an example. So maybe they just went ape crap and said, we better get as much toilet paper as ever. Other than the death toll thing where they're thinking ahead of time going, hey, they're going to close all the stores down. So we better hurry up and get everything. Yet the stores aren't closed down. Now they're stocking back up. I think it was one of the CEOs from Kroger's that was saying, if we had time to get stuff on the shelves, we've got plenty of food. If we could get everything in and get the stores repacked and people quit going nuts and emptying the shelves, everything would be fine. So, I know Martin's was full of food and stuff today and hamburger and whatnot. So, I don't know about the toilet paper because I still don't need toilet paper. I could probably go through about 7 more of these apocalypses before I'm going to have to worry about toilet paper.
I'm gonna need more toilet paper in a week or so. But I hate the fact that they just did a run on toilet paper. You know, it bothers me.
Everybody knows that the electric company runs on toilet paper. So to keep the power on, they need toilet paper.
This toilet paper becomes the new currency.
Yeah. There was some clown in Australia trying to sell toilet paper on eBay for $2,000. It's like 6 rolls. It's like, think about it. Price that down. It's like how much per roll?
That's per square foot.
Price it down. Yeah. You have to price it down to the sheet. But I mean, like, if people were really concerned and they felt it's like, oh, this is really bad, and we need to stock up on stuff, and a lot of people are going to die. Why isn't anybody stocking up on coffins? I don't see a rush on coffins.
Well, here we don't have an issue with that. We have FEMA. They have these nice plastic.
Yeah, I know the plastic ones. Yeah, they can take 3 or 4 bodies and they can just sink themselves.
Yeah. So we're not really worried about that here.
Well, like here, I mean, I'm on 2 houses ago toilet paper because, like I said before, Target had buy 2 get 3 free. It's the 16 roll big thing of Angel Soft. So I mean, we bought a ton of it, and we had a ton of Target gift cards, so we didn't actually pay for it because they used to run all the time where if you bought, 2 bags of dog food, you'd get a $5 or a $10 or a $15 Target card, and my wife always would save those up, and then she'd use them later down, the line to buy stuff, or actually she used to use them for Christmas presents. So all the kids as Christmas presents when they wanted video games and stuff, we never paid for them. We always used those fucking cards, to do it that way, so we didn't pay out of pocket. And we were already buying items we were going to need, like, dish soap, toilet paper, whatever. Well, when they had that big massive sale, buy 2 get 3 free, she bought a lot of it. And we had my 3 kids and her 2 cousins plus, so we had a house of 7, and a lot of times 8 or 9 people that would come over. We'd have 2 or 3 more people come and visit. So, we had a house full of 10, 12 people at times. So, we always had stuff stocked up so we didn't have to worry about it. But we've moved twice since we went and bought that toilet paper, and we've still got, I think, 7 unopened rolls and 2 that were open because we've got two full bathrooms here. So there's a full one upstairs and a full one downstairs. So I mean, we don't even go through. We probably won't have to go open another one until, I don't know, November, December of this year. So it's like, yeah, we're good. We don't need toilet paper.
Same thing here. It's like because I live with 2 other guys here, and the way we did it is like in turn we all buy toilet paper, and the idea was we buy 24 rolls every time, but that didn't always pan out. But I buy 24 rolls every time, and the last time I bought 24 rolls was 3-4 weeks ago, and that's when 24 rolls was available. 24 rolls is not available anymore. Now you can only get 6 rolls or 8 rolls, and it's the same price as 24 rolls. But the fact is, those 24 rolls will do us for like a month and a half.
Right.
And other toilet paper. So we're not running short here. And even if we did run out, it would be just to me a matter of like, take a shit, jump in the shower and wash your ass.
Yeah. Or, there's plenty of washcloths or, old towels you could use. And then, kind of like the old school cloth diapers, you just wash it later or whatnot. Or paper towels, or there's always something else. But yeah, worst case scenario, you take a shit and then you get in the shower. Literally, I mean, think about it. What was the old saying? I'm going to take a shit, shower, and shave. So the 3 S's. So
that's the thing is, well, you think about in Indonesian culture, right? Their idea, they don't use toilet paper at all. What they do is they take a shit, they wipe their ass with their left hand, and then so it's like so that's why they don't touch food with their left hand, because it's always covered with shit. But anyway, but that's their culture.
Yep.
It's toilet paper is not a necessity. It's a luxury item.
Oh, it is. I mean, that's what handkerchiefs were for. I mean, it's like people. I don't know. Maybe it's because so many people haven't gone camping and they never had to go shit out in the woods. I don't know.
That's why you see a lot of people. It's like before handkerchiefs, what they do is they'd hold one nostril and then snot all over a fucking wall or on the pavement or something like that.
Yeah, right out in the grass, man. I've done that on the phone with you numerous times. Chew, and I'm out in the yard, so I'm like, I don't care. That's what sleeves are for, man. You just rip it off and then you've got a cut off.
It's like it's a handkerchief. It's part of your clothing,
Mm-hmm. But
I think William Shatner's gonna have a new paranormal show.
Ah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, without the E. It's like he's like hashtag the unexplained. He said tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific.
Well, he's got to have something to do. I mean, we're all locked up, so you might as well, Hey, if people can't handle this, they better never do a real crime and have to go to prison. That's all I'm saying.
That's true.
And
okay, so it's at on the History Channel.
Okay.
It started on Leap Day. So it's been going on for a month.
I was watching something on true crime last night, and the woman she'd done something really wrong, right? She was really bad, and she said, "I can't be locked up. I've got children. Get fucked. If you did something really wrong, you get locked up. And I'm sure it's not good for your children. You should have thought about that before you did something wrong. It's like, I can't get locked up. I've got children. Don't fuck yourself.
It doesn't give you a license to break the law,
Right. Yeah, that's that excuse doesn't work. Well, I have children. Yeah, well, congratulations. So do a lot of other people. That doesn't mean you can just go kill them or murder someone.
And maybe it's time for you to stop having children.
I've never understood people that use
That's
children as an excuse. Oh, well, yeah, shut up.
I mean, why don't they just, yeah, okay. Yeah, I did see the trailer for Unexplained. Yep.
Well, the other thing is, like, what kind of example are you setting for your children, and what kind of children are you going to raise? Criminals? That's not good for everybody.
I mean, there's a lot of people out there that can't have children.
Yeah.
Want children, and are good people. And here you are, leading a bad example.
Yep, that's true.
I mean, I just don't get it.
And people, it's like you've got to understand the English language. I didn't do nothing is a double negative. It means you fucking did something.
I didn't do nothing wrong.
I guess they're telling the truth there, I suppose.
I didn't do nothing.
Like, you got to understand double negatives. It's like when you say you didn't do nothing, it means you did do something. So yeah, let's understand the English language.
Well, the problem with that is the new English language is Mexican or Spanish. So
Spanish, okay. I only understand a little. I understand a little bit of Spanish, but not a lot.
Mainly cuss words.
I know how to make someone feel awkward in Spanish.
How to make them feel awkward in Spanish?
Yeah, you just say
no toilet paper.
You say "Yo quiero cago en la estufa." Translate that. Okay, so you know what that means.
See, I was thinking, green card or,
I mean, that's an awkward statement.
Mm-hmm. Green card or ICE, if they actually did anything, which they don't. So,
I mean, that'll get you Baker acted. Just go around saying you want to take a crap in people's ovens.
Yeah.
You won't go around saying it. I don't think that'd be overly popular.
The thing I shared on Twitter earlier on that group page that you did, and I thought it was pretty cute. It came from a Facebook Dachshund Club where it said day 7 of being locked down, and the dog's telling you, and you wonder why I chew on the furniture.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, well, my wife never chewed on the furniture. Never. That's because he's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say my wife noticed our office chair and see how clawed up it is now. It's just nice. It's got a nice white vinyl finish, and it has just got all these holes in it. Yeah, I have a cat.
Yep, that's all you need. Because cats are useless.
So she's like, when this happened, I said, well, probably when we're both at work. Or when we're both asleep.
Right. More than likely.
When the cat advances on the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Too much.
When you're sleeping.
If we still had a leather couch, it would be destroyed.
Oh, dude, leather, pleather, it doesn't matter.
I know why cats like to destroy, like, shiny things that make you stick to it when sweaty. But they do.
Cats like to destroy everything.
Well, cats are assholes, but that's what happens.
That's it. Cats are assholes.
Yeah. Yeah. They're here to rule the world, and that's what they're saying. Yeah, we're gonna rule you humans. Just wait.
And I'm sure people would appreciate the difference in the way that Adam says asshole and I say asshole. He says asshole, I say asshole.
And
That's how you do the difference with the accents.
or what about someone from Hong Kong?
Hmm.
Asshole.
It's asshole.
That's all. That's all. Don't talk no like
It's
China. China asshole. Yeah, exactly.
It's like I was telling Adam, I think it was about a week and a half ago or something like that, where we had a fisherman go missing. This fisherman that went missing, I think he was from South Korea or something like that. He'd been living in Australia on a temporary visa for 7 years, right? And he went fishing for abalone. He couldn't swim. And he went missing, going fishing for abalone. And so I had to tell Adam they're looking for a hoe because his name was Ho, and he went missing in the ocean.
A hoe went missing in the ocean. A Chinese hoe.
Yeah, all emergency services were looking for a hoe.
Yep. Hoe down.
And as far as I know, they didn't find him. But I mean, like, if you can't swim, don't go in the ocean, you fuck.
Yep. Well, that's okay, Brian. This will really make you laugh. Do you want to know where I get most of my American news from?
Me.
I get it from the Aussie.
Yeah.
Because if I don't catch stuff from you, or I don't catch stuff from, when everybody's streaming and we're all on or doing something, or I don't jump on the internet and find something, I usually will hear it from Mr. Peabody here because, it's
because we'll be chatting and I'll be watching the news at the same time, and so I'm commentating all the news to him at the same, because we get a lot of American news here. I don't know how much Australian news you get there, but we get
Not
a lot
much.
of American news.
They don't. Yeah. You see, the thing is, in America, our news 24/7 is Trump's orange man bad. That's pretty much all they're saying. They didn't talk much about Brexit, which was significant in my personal opinion. They didn't talk much about like whenever something major is happening, they always talk about something else. It's like, and then like Congress trying to sneak things through. It's like, yeah, we know what you're doing. It's like, or I know what you're doing, not we, but I know what you're doing. It's like, it's crazy. They have this narrative, and they really they thrive off fear and ratings and outrage. They do their damnedest to make it somewhat dramatic and entertaining. Not entertaining, but more dramatic than anything else.
I also found that a lot of the American stuff. A lot of the American stuff is actually closed network, so it's like it's all about America. It's not really about. They don't actually show much.
Not much. No. I mean, there is some stuff world news, but world news typically either focuses on what our involvement is in the world, or if there's a regime change somewhere sometimes, or typically stuff centered around the Middle East. Really doesn't have to do with any other part of the world.
But I have to put out kudos to especially to America and other countries. When we had the bushfire crisis, you guys stepped up, and so I have to thank you for that.
And that was a lot of mostly independent media and people our friends media from across the world, and it's like it's like, yeah, I have friends over there, and da 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 da. So yeah, that, and especially like I guess paying entertainers, um, they talk to each other, and so yeah, I mean things like that cannot be ignored. If it's in the first world and something bad happens in the first world, like some catastrophe like that, people will know about it and people will step up, even if it isn't.
It wasn't so bad, not so bad in Western Australia, but over east it was really catastrophic, and but yeah, that message went out, and you guys stepped up to the plate.
We have that.
You sent across firefighters, you sent across planes, and you did as much as you could to help.
So of course. Yeah. I mean, No, it's a big deal. I mean, you guys are a good ally, you know, and it certainly helps because the I'm not gonna say we're from the same type of culture, but we speak the same language. We speak the dialect, but still, we're able to understand each other. We're not
Some
sort of
words are
very
different. For the most part, we're the same.
some words,
And
but I mean,
we spell stuff differently.
we do.
Mm-hmm.
And we drive on the other side of the road.
Oh, Australia does. I saw Australia's more
We're
like
upside
England.
down.
Well, remember,
We're on
Australia
the wrong
doesn't
side of the planet.
exist, so we're talking to a ghost.
That's right. Well, not only doesn't Australia exist, but Western Australia especially doesn't exist because, as far as the eastern states concerned, we don't count.
Understand that. I mean, it's like, oh, Western Australia. They're not real Australia. They're Western
They're
Australia.
Western
It's like,
Australia. Yeah, they're not.
Exactly.
They're not the
That's
real
that's
Aussies.
almost like what it is. Yeah, it's like you know, when they do the weather or they report on anything on Western Australia, they sort of like to skip over us. It's like, and them over there. Yeah.
you guys just
But
secede. Just secede from the rest of Australia and just say, yeah, we're Western Australia.
yeah, well, but the only reason they recognise us at all is because all the money comes from Western Australia.
No, that would be a good case for recognition.
Yeah, well, all the mining stuff and everything comes from Western Australia. So the rest of the country profits off our state, and then they give us a pittance back. So it's like, oh, thanks for all that money, and here you can have some back. Yeah, thanks very much.
Wow. So if workers went on strike in Western Australia, it would be catastrophic for the national economy.
Just slightly.
What?
It really would screw them up, yeah. But there was actually a call. It was about a year or so ago to make Western Australia a separate entity. But it's never a good thing to go out on your own unless you've got backup. And if we're going to be a separate entity, we could not rely on the politicians we have at the moment because they're
And
idiots.
You couldn't. So what you need to do is you need to align yourselves with Taiwan.
Oh
you
no!
just align yourself with Taiwan and other nations, territories that are tired of being forgotten. It's like, hey, we matter.
No, we're quite happy to be. We're quite happy. We're quite happy to be forgotten because like the rest of the country are a bunch of tossers. So it's like, yeah, we're quite happy to be forgotten.
That's cool.
No, well, look at this way. They fuck up big time over there, right? And then they have to clean up their messes. We don't fuck up over here, and we say, ha ha. But yeah, our politicians over in the West are not crash hot. They never have been. They're the same. Politicians around the world are the same. They look at their own interests and they serve their own interests. But we in Western Australia have managed to maintain control to certain points of public services such as power and gas and things like that. So that all stays with the people. Everywhere else in Australia, they sold out to private companies, so their prices are all going through the roof. Our prices are going up, but we can sort of like cap that off because we say, like, well, why are your prices going up? Because you're still owned by us. So we can cap that to a certain extent, but all the other prices around the rest of Australia they've gone right through the roof. Ours have gone up, but we sort of capped it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
The fact is like that's the reason why in the last election that we had in Western Australia, that's why the government was tossed because they wanted to sell off the power plants, and we said no,
Gotcha.
don't sell off the power plants. And then the opposition came in and said, if we get into power, we will not sell the power plants. So we said, okay, fine. So everybody's flipped and gone to the opposition and said, yep, we're not selling the power plants. And then the opposition has been playing this fucking stupid game for a while now. So it's all a matter with the next election what they say next. But they're all basically the same. But Western Australia wants to keep the power with the people, not with private companies.
Yeah, because like once you give it to private companies, they
They-
can bring in foreign workers.
Exactly. And I mean that's happened quite a few times already, especially with China, because a lot of the example Fiona Stanley Hospital and the new Children's Hospital in Perth, they were both built by Chinese companies. They were both held back from being open to the public. Why? Because those foreign companies put lead piping through through the buildings, and they also put asbestos through the buildings. Now, if it was an Australian company, they would not have been allowed to use asbestos or lead piping. But because it was a Chinese company that was bringing in Chinese shit, they were allowed to put that shit through the buildings. But as soon as they found out that's what they did, they had to close the buildings and they shut them off. And so we didn't get access to that hospital or that hospital because they had to tear out everything that they already put in. It was fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry, I'm swearing.
Oh, it's all right. This is open. It's not for kids. It was, the title of it was Fun with Friends because that's what we're doing. We're just having fun, and we're all friends. This isn't Brian's stream, so you don't have to really watch your P's and Q's.
It was Chinese
Respect,
companies. They used materials that had asbestos in them, which is illegal to use in Australia, but also in West Australia. And they used lead lining in the piping, which causes lead poisoning.
Right.
Yes, it does.
So they had to remove all that stuff in order to make those hospitals. So what that did was it blew out the budget for both those hospitals, and it meant that it took another 2 years before those hospitals could open. So that's politicians for you because they took the Chinese tender on it and got the Chinese people to build it, and with Chinese builders, and then when they tried to open it, of course they go through and do the tests and find out, well, hang on, you've used this material here. There's lead in the water, and blah blah blah. And then so they had to shut the whole thing down and had to get other people in to fix the fucking problem. It's like, wake up, guys, wake up.
And I do want to say, like, all the way till last decade, and I haven't heard anything since. And I'm curious to know: is there been a few products that were recalled, that were made in China that had lead lining and had to be recalled, especially dishes. And the thing is, on a lead plate or something that's got that lead lining on a plate, you start putting things on that plate, like say pasta sauce, red sauce. The acidity in that sauce and the tomatoes will just amplify that lead, just like it does with crushed red pepper. And even if you wash it, you can still get lead poisoning. And all the stuff that has lead stuff, you don't want. And I have not heard anything since. But I mean, I can't put any trust in anything that comes out of the mainstream Chinese media these days.
True that.
If you want to know, if you want to know what's
Yeah,
going on there, check out a YouTube channel called China.
well, well, that's the other thing. It's like, who does lead poisoning mostly affect? Children. And where was all the lead poisoning? In the children's hospital. You fucks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh, and to answer your question, yes, that was Mr. Peabody underneath the chair. The picture just went through and I caught it. I was like, oh, yeah, that is.
That's because he looks just like me.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that he does. That he does. So glad that Jez is a good guy and probably won't be mad that I stole his Discord.
Probably won't be.
You're like, hey man, I was just lazy and didn't switch it out, and we just met up in here and we're talking and decided to go live with some pictures of the dogs and you know, ruh-oh. You know.
I think everybody there's asleep. I mean, there's a couple people.
Yeah, well, I figure worst case, I'll have to beg for forgiveness, and I didn't plan on doing it, but hey, it's kind of the first stream I've actually done. And worst case, if somebody else wants to jump in, that's a part of Digital Pollution's Discord, they can jump in and join with us. And I'm just kind of testing the waters here. I've got for when I do a Frank's, hence there's the Frank's Cantina, Frank and the Clan's Cantina, because it's bar time, so that'll be fun. Along with a secondary channel that I have that might be kind of fun to do more things with later down the line. But, right now it's just we all met on here and we're talking. So I thought, well, I'd steal it, but there it is.
And Peabody's upside never gets used, so don't worry about that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it's literally, right here, this here.
I mean, us three, we're all in that one, so it doesn't matter either way.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much got everybody, and that was the thing when I had the Frank's Canteen. I'm like, well, we're all in here. I was like, yeah, well, we're already logged into Jez's, and I'll just borrow his. And like I said, I'll let him know I did it. And if he says don't do that again, I'll be like, sorry, I didn't. We didn't think you'd care, but
I don't think he'd mind.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like the type of guy that would mind.
No, but I would have rather, just like when I asked you guys, I'm like, hey, I'm bored. Let's go live. If you don't have any objections, this is what I'm going to do. And we can just keep, talking. And
now, Cub, on the other hand, might have an issue with it.
Yeah. We'll go still Cubs. Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll just, still Cubs corner, and we'll use his Discord. No, I wouldn't do that. Wouldn't do it to Nerd either. These are all great people. Wouldn't do it to Pete from At Dawn. So Crow's Nest got Jesse, but yeah.
But but the thing is with Jesse, with his Discord, he doesn't do. No one does any voice chats on that. The only time I do mine is when I get a little paranoid that I might be running out of StreamYard hours.
Yeah,
is when I'll do Discord.
Yep. I understand that, but luckily I got like 4 YouTube channels, so I could always just do it on a different channel. So, like the one I was gonna do, I set a stream like a week ago, and I never even got around to doing it. It was pretty funny because a friend of mine that lived in Cali that now lives in Indy, we were gonna do a show because we always talk on the phone. And I was like, hey, let's do a show together. And he's like, all right. And he goes, let's do a late night one. So I set it up, and then we never did it. And it's still set up because, of course, it was, the Kung Flu hashtag air aids. It's when I started using the air aids shit. I'm like, all right, this is what we're going to do. And we can, bust out the knowledge through all these idiots that don't want to seem to understand what's going on, which I have since been on your stream and, Jesse's stream and a bunch of other streams where we're all just, not crossing the streams, but constantly being on. And it's like, look, this is this. We're all infected. Deal with it. It's just the flu to an extent. Is it a bioweapon? More than likely. But is it going to kill us all? Probably not. I guess we'll find out. We still don't have bodies just dropping. Yeah, there's lots of cases, but I still, with our Aussie here, I'm on the same page as him. One, I don't think they're just testing for COVID-19. It's a blanket test.
A blanket test.
So if you got a
Yeah,
flu
'cause
shot,
there's other types of
yep.
coronaviruses.
And if you got a flu shot, let's say, you're going to test positive. Then that doesn't mean that you're going to die from that. If you walk outside and get hit by a car, even though you were tested positive because you got a flu shot, they're going to say, well, you died from COVID 19. Where if they did an autopsy, they would realize you just had the flu or you just had a common cold and you died from the car that hit you. But media
I
doesn't
mean,
want you to think that way.
The numbers that have gone through, there's no way they can tell me that all of those people were tested, then autopsied, and proven to have died from that. Do you know what I mean? So
Exactly.
it's all bullshit numbers.
It is. It is. It's to sensationalize it. It's to I want to say perpetuate an agenda, whether it's for outrage, let's listen to the media, or whether it's for control, because now they have your name and net and your address, bar none, on the federal level. Um, and they did the tap, the census, and things like that. But they know exactly what you are and where you go.
They know where you are. They've locked you all down. They know exactly where to locate you. So it's like,
but see, they have something they might not have had before, and that is your DNA.
of course,
But now
they can pull it off the blood. Yeah.
they know, because things could have happened. You probably could have had a full blood transfusion. You probably could have had something else going on, or things might have changed over time. But now they have an updated DNA profile. Like people that go to and from space, their DNA changes. People that experiment with LSD, their DNA changes. There's some things that do change your actual DNA a little bit, a distort, I should say. It's still you, but your profile has changed a little bit. So
Yeah,
that is
what it causes. It causes little kinks in the DNA chains, so it slightly changes. But
it's an updated profile. It's a 100% updated profile. You go and get that test. So I'm going to
they've had my DNA for over 20 years. So
yeah, but now they need a new update. I mean, they got mine last year. So once you get arrested, they take a DNA sample now.
Yeah, it's basically mandatory now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was lovely to find out. I mean, I haven't done anything, where I was worried about it, but I was kind of like, you really need my DNA? Here you go. Like my blood, they don't want my blood because, 35 years of being a diabetic. They're like, nope, fuck off.
Your blood's fucked.
Yep.
So I'm looking on Twitter, and that trash website TR, Comic Book Resources. I'm gonna say one of the worst Batman writers of all time. He says the Dark Knight was quarantine, and I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? If Batman was real, he'd have a cure by now.
Mm-hmm. That is very true.
That shows you how much he knows about Batman, why he shouldn't be writing it. Doesn't matter, because the new hashtag is pencils down, because a lot of the mainstream comic pros just got canned. They said we're going to stop production on these things. What? It's like, yeah.
Well, that's the problem. If people aren't working, they're not going to have money to buy extra stuff. So let's give them money, And Mr. Peabody said one of the most intelligent things I've ever heard come from anybody. And it was refreshing to hear, where he goes, well, I'm not going to go buy anything till I've got that money in hand, for one, because, it's a promise, but that doesn't mean you're going to get it. So don't spend it till you got it. And I have to agree with that 100%.
It's like what Ma said. It's like, I already have money set aside, and she said, "Oh, why don't you spend that money and get what you want now, and then that money will kick in." And I said to my Ma, I said, like, "Well, no, until that money is in my hands, it's not tangible. So that's where I was coming from. It's like because uh, I might have to move out of here. I might need to move into another place. I mean, I don't think that'll happen anytime soon because they're locking down everybody. But the fact is, until it's in my hands, it's not mine.
Right. Yep.
But yeah, that's the whole problem. People assume they're going to get this money. I talked to Adam about this yesterday, right? In Australia, okay, everybody that's on the pension or looking for work that's already in the system will get a $750 payout. They'll get $750 paid to them, and then late next month they'll get all their payments almost doubled. And so people are thinking they're going to get this money, and so they'll go out and spend, thinking, "Oh, my money's going to get replenished." But until it's in your hand, it's not your money, and things are changing day to day. So there's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee. This whole thing put a grinding halt to a lot of people's typical financial strategies. Like, let's say the people that would you know get an asset and flip it for profit, which is simple to do, but who's gonna buy that asset now?
Yeah.
Nobody. And so that venture is shut down. The venture of just going ahead and making something entertaining and selling, or like come to my event, that shut down. Or let's go to see a movie, that shut down. Every aspect of entertainment shut down. Every aspect of trying to that involves people to basically you're relying on other people either to be interested in your product or to be interested in something. And if they can't spend money on it, shut down, it's done. I mean, 40 to 50% of the U.S. workforce is now people are laid off, not working right now. 40 to 50% of the U.S. workforce.
So even
home now.
Even if you look at my sister, right? My sister's company works online, and what she does is she does printing. So she prints up T-shirts. She prints up different things for different things, such as weddings and things like that. Her company is kaput. Right?
Yeah, because someone's going to get if someone's going to get a shirt, it's going to be at something they can put put on their back if they need a shirt, and they're not going to care what type of logo or designs on that shirt.
No, well, the fact is, these days, like people are holding onto their money because they don't know what's coming next. Also, but my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, his company, they deal with it's called laser tag. Same thing, laser tag. It's not paintballing, but same thing, but with lasers. And of course, that got shut down because you can't have those groups.
Right.
So they're both unemployed. It makes no difference to me because I was already unemployed because I was ill, but they're both shut down. And then the Australian government said to everybody, it's like, oh, it's okay, go on mygov.com au and register and you'll be fine. And the whole system crashed. Now I can tell you that the system crashes normally. So what made them think that the system would be fine by adding 3 million people to it? So
Well, we had something similar here with healthcare.gov when it started.
Yeah. The other thing is like they said, everybody go online and learn online. And Adam knows from personal experience. He's seen it many times. Our internet sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It cannot handle extra. And they're saying, "Oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine." But no, as soon as you put extra people on the servers, our internet crashes every time. And Adam knows my internet crashes all the time.
That
All
it
the time.
does.
Yeah, and plus, even when it's working, that's why I don't live stream because my internet can't keep up.
I mean, we're lucky he hasn't bebopped out about 100 times since we've been doing this.
Yeah, no, yeah, we've been pretty lucky because but it crashes all the time, and they're saying, oh, I mean, I don't know about the internet in the eastern states, but I can tell you that the internet in Western Australia cannot cope with a whole lot of people logging on. So and so that they're basically the government is like in a whimsical world, and they don't understand that no, we are not set up for this.
Well, I mean, and that's just the internet part. If the world was set up for it, kids would be doing their schoolwork from home, which now they're forced to. But the internet's only going to be able to handle what it's going to be able to handle because what internet we have in the U.S. isn't the same internet as everywhere. Which I didn't learn
Yeah,
that
I was.
till dealing with the Australian internet when it is basically dial up.
I mean, we've been having a little bit of a pinch depending on what time of day and where you're at because of everybody's at home right now, and that's all there is to do is just kind of like check out what's online, whether it's looking for work if there is work or getting your entertainment or spending all day on social media. It doesn't matter. I know that Netflix has reduced its streaming capacity over 25% of users in Spain and Italy complain that they can't go anywhere. But it does. And so you add that. I know that if you already have a bad system in place already, everybody, that now you have a bunch of people at home. That's just going to be a recipe for website crap.
Well, yeah. I mean, even the place I volunteer at and that my wife works at, they finally shut down. Luckily, we're still, going and able to work, but there's no new dogs. There's two dogs there. And so, we still got to go let them out, feed them, and all that stuff. But where you would normally get a 4 or 5 hour shift, now it's down to, an hour. So, it's like, wow, thanks, guys. And then now the newest thing, I think she said she read something that said somewhere, I don't know where it was or whatever, that you need to hurry up and file your taxes in order to make sure that you get your government check from, this Obama thing that they, or the Obama, the Trump thing that they signed for the
Trump bucks.
2.5
Trump bucks.
trillion. Yeah, you need to file your taxes. And I'm like, wait a minute. They moved the tax date back because of this shit. Now they're saying you need to pay taxes to get qualified for the money. Fuck off. That's basically you paying them money.
I don't think you need to pay. I think from what I heard, I think taxes, if you owe, the payments have been waived, or at least for a good, or at least for this year. A refund is coming if you are entitled to one, but God knows when that's going to happen.
Yeah, because they said, well, you can file your taxes if
Um,
you want before April 15th, but you didn't have to. They gave you, what, like another month or so. But it's
I
like, I
think
don't
July.
care. Tax it. Okay, yeah. It's like, that should be the last thing we're worried about, with all these people out of work. And see, I don't trust U.S. numbers because their whole thing with the unemployment. Okay, hey, only so many people are unemployed now. There's all these new jobs, yet I don't see new jobs, and I still am out of work. So I don't want to hear that. And but of course I don't qualify because in their eyes I'm not looking for work, even though I've been looking for work since '08. There's just nothing out
Well,
there.
this whole thing is a perfect opportunity for me to get back on front lines. If they would have sorted me out a couple of years ago, I would be on the front lines. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like, if they would have seen me and sorted me out a couple of years ago, instead of hanging me back and making me wait for these fucking appointments to sort me out, I would be on the front lines. Why? Because I'm trained for it.
Yeah. By the way, Brian, Mr. Peabody was a nurse till he ended up getting sick, and he's been waiting to go to the doctor for 3 years to find out what's wrong with him, just to catch you up.
So you've been sick for a while.
Yeah, over 3 years. Yeah, since 2016. The end of 2016, I've been sick, and I've had problems. I've had problems that I've told them what was wrong, and Adam knows what happened, and they also I told them all from the start what was happening, and they just verified what I said to them.
Yeah.
And now they put me on new medication, which the medication is bizarre. A rocket ship up the nose, but 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 that doesn't stop. It doesn't stop the problem. All it does is stop the problem from. Once I get sick, if I spray this shit up my nose, it's supposed to stop it from reoccurring. Which what is the problem? It reoccurs. But no, if this is a perfect opportunity for me to get back into the workforce, but I can't because I can't trust my own body.
Right.
Yeah, your own
Okay.
metabolism
So
and system's weak.
what are your symptoms?
Cyclic vomiting. So I'll go every week. Every week I'll go. I'll be sick for 3 days straight. So in other words, I don't sleep, I don't eat, I vomit all night, and then I gradually get back on. I gradually start taking food in liquid form, and then I get back onto solid. I get back onto solid food, and I'm okay on solid food for a few days, and then the whole thing starts all over again.
Do you experience vertigo?
No,
Okay. It's vomiting. Do you have
it's a
any pains in your stomach?
of course, especially when I get back onto solid food, I experience quite a bit of pain as the food goes through. But the easiest way I can explain this is what I've said to the doctors for years. It's a problem with my vagus nerve. Okay, the vagus nerve. Um, you know, I don't know if you know what the vagus nerve is
Oh
responsible
no,
for, but
I don't.
it basically deals with everything involuntary to do with your gastric system, but it also involves things to do with vagus nerve is involuntary, so it's sneezing, coughing, hiccups, and vomiting. So there's a problem with my vagus nerve. So the medication she's got me on is to deal with um, abdominal migraines. It works the same way. Same way the migraine in the head occurs, you can get a migraine in the abdomen. What it means is,
Vessels shrink.
yes, sort of, yeah, similar. Yeah, what happens? The the it pinches off and then it releases, and then it pinches off and releases, pinches off and releases. So it's like I'm not explaining it all that well.
No, you're doing fine,
No, I
man.
know exactly what you mean because I could get migraines from time to time. So it makes perfect sense. Um, I did not know that can happen to any other part of the body other than the eyeball. So thanks for telling me. I learned something new. Um,
Well, when she told me, I thought, what the fuck? And the fact is, she's got me on migraine medication, but it's not to deal with pain. It's to deal with that feedback loop, because your nervous system works on a feedback loop. So what it's supposed to do is stop that loop so that I don't continue to throw up. If it makes any sense.
okay, well, I mean, if it works the same way as migraines, let me ask you just a couple questions.
It works on the sympathetic.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a question for curiosity because this is why I'm not why I don't get much migraines now these days. Does it affect you more when you're a little bit dehydrated?
Well, the fact is, I'm dehydrated all the time. I'm throwing up.
Okay, so yeah, I know that, but I mean, if you're hydrated, does it happen more or less when you're hydrated? Like you don't drink a lot of water.
I drink a lot of water.
Okay, all right. All right, because I don't.
And the fact is, like, but she actually asked me, do I get a headache beforehand? And I said no, but I do get a headache afterwards because I've been coughing, spluttering, and throwing up, and of course that puts a lot of pressure on the blood vessels in the head. So I do end up with a headache afterwards, but not beforehand.
Sorry for the
Right.
feedback loop there, guys. Did you hear the
That's
dogs
okay.
barking when I muted or no?
No.
Well, that's good. It didn't go through on the Discord, but it went through on the recording, so it's kind of funny because the OBS still picked it up. So at least you guys could hear. I'm like, oh, they're gonna be pissed. Well, I'm glad you guys couldn't hear it because all I did was I muted it on the Discord, but the OBS still caught the dogs barking.
I'm never pissed because they know that there's an Aussie stuck in the speaker and they're just trying to get them out.
Yep.
Hey, I hate to do this, Adam, but I do have to hop off of here.
Not a problem, buddy. Not a problem. I'll go ahead and end the stream while we're on here. I'd just like to thank everybody, Heather Bell for jumping in and saying hi and listening to us. I'd like to thank Brian the Observer for coming and Mr. Peabody for coming to hang out here on Frank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clans Happy Hour Fun with Friends. Everybody, stay safe, stay sane, and we will catch you on the next one.
And sorry we weren't much fun.
Oh, you were a blast.